All right, good afternoon, everybody. We're going to give Amy a short break so she can take a breather and maybe go to the bathroom, get a drink of water. And I'm April Burns with IC&D. It's good to see everybody. I just want you to know that I do not have electric purple hair. It is my web camera, so I have to say that. But I'm excited to have Vanessa Humes, IC&D's Director of Sales and Marketing, joining us today to do her webinar. So I'm going to go ahead and let Vanessa take it from here.
Thanks, April. Appreciate it. You guys probably know us as the dynamic duo out there on the dance floor. If you ever have been to any of the VRM Intel actual events where we get to hang out with each other. So I miss all of your faces. I wish we could all share screens and I could see all your lovely faces, because I am certainly missing all of that socialization. But I appreciate you guys joining us. I am actually going to turn off my webcam so y'all can see my screen a little bit better as we get into it. But first, since I'm wearing my leopard print scarf here, I wanted to say, hey, all you cool cats and kittens, and make sure that all of my Tiger King fans out there got that little throw in. So without further ado, we, as April introduced, we are IC&D Rising to the Challenge. And we have certainly been put to the test over the past month or so working with you guys, and want to talk today about how we can help you get through it. I'm sure you're questioning what you're doing, questioning how you're planning, and we are here to help you guys get through it. So, get to my next slide. From rags to riches, or riches to rags. I thought this was a little more fun to bring to us as far as Goldie Hawn and overboard. I think a lot of us feel a bit overboard right now with what we're going through in the industry, and you know, we certainly feel for you. You know, IC&D has been in business since 1999, and we work with over 250 vacation rental companies globally. And, you know, our whole emphasis is on direct bookings. And so we develop websites and do digital marketing. And yeah, we're just always about getting the qualified traffic to your website and get those online bookings, which in the last 30 days sure has been a challenge, to say the very least. You know, a lot of you have probably had a killer year at the start of the year. We were seeing a lot of our numbers up. Summer was looking great, and spring break at the beaches and the ski resorts and everyone was looking really strong. And I think everybody who had their spring breaks canceled, you know, is really feeling the course of what's happening. I was talking to a client yesterday, and he said we don't operate very well in reverse. And you know, as far as the cancellations and trying to get people rescheduled and credited and you know, possibly refunded, it's taken a lot of fuel from our engine. So hopefully things are going to be turning around soon, and we'll definitely make the suggestions of what you guys should be doing next. Sorry, I'm struggling with my slides today. The news has seemed to be getting a little bit better. You know, if you look in your local areas, I'm sure if you're in the US or US based, you're starting to see that it's, you know, going from 100% more cases every day to 60, 50% cases every day. So while we're still increasing in the number of cases from yesterday, it does seem to be slowing a bit as far as the spread and the number of cases, which is good. Also, you know, there's this big push for Trump to reopen America, and you know, if you've been listening into the media, he's got his plan in place, but of course it relies more upon the local governments and regulations to set that parameters of when we're going to open up and increase the ability for visitors to come back to our areas. But it does seem like there's a trickle of light coming through those dark skies. Stimulus money starting to hit people's bank accounts, which is a good thing. I always say when people get tax money, they either buy furniture or vacation. So you being in the business of one of the two, maybe even both, there is some light in the end of the tunnel there for you guys. And being cooped up at home, I think, the thing that we all need right now is a vacation. I'm sure you guys are thinking the same thing. We would love to be in some great vacation destination right now, having a few drinks and having this talk. But I will make it as pleasurable as possible, seeing that we have these circumstances here. So what should you be focusing on right now, seeing that there is a glimmer of light in these dark clouds, but we're not in full throttle just yet? The first thing we feel strongly about is, of course, looking at your website. And, what that means is, a lot of good companies are investing in their websites to be ready for the comeback. That doesn't have to necessarily be a financial investment, though it does seem like we haven't slowed down here at IC&D. But, what should you look at and what should you be concentrating on? And we feel like content is probably at number one. User experience is definitely up there as well, to make sure that when people are coming back to your website, which we are starting to see a little bit of an increase in web traffic, just slightly, that your booking engine and your website are supporting it and making the best experience possible for that visitor. So when you're looking at your website, what should we be looking at in terms of content? Of course, more content means more authority with Google. So the more content, the more you look like you're an authority about your destination and about vacation rentals in your destination. So you're likely to come up higher in the search engines when you have more content. So examples of this would be working on custom search results pages, so pet-friendly rentals, rentals with bunk beds, ski in, ski out rentals, rentals with hot tubs, rentals with private pools that have some content, would have a picture, content, and feature all of those rentals that contain those certain features and attributes. The other thing that you could be looking at right now is your FAQ page. I'm probably going to repeat myself a lot about this, so I apologize. And of course, all of the great panels that have been on with the VRM Intel Live conference have also mentioned this, but speaking specifically on, and I'm sure you're already reading my mind and completing my sentences, but our FAQ page need to have a lot more information about travel insurance and housekeeping protocols and what you're doing to keep people safe and healthy when they're staying in your rentals. The other thing would be area information pages. So what do they have to do when they get there? Things to do pages, how to get there. Is it a remote destination that you're offering? And then with travel insurance, how does that work? What does it cover? Why should they buy it? Is it a cancel for any reason policy? And information about that, which a lot of times you can link out to your travel insurance provider for that. But we always want to keep them on your site. So having a page for that dedicated to explaining all of that information would be wonderful as well. And I think, the whole theme of this time that we've been getting pushed towards is the idea of having a reset, having time to reset. So I really want to push you to ask yourself, what do I do best as a company? What do we have to offer that we're going to do better than any company out there? And when you're thinking about that, how can you promote that out on your website? I think is a great thing to be thinking about during this time that we have more time to think about it. Starting to sound like Donald Trump here, repeating myself. The other thing is blog posts. Making sure you have blog posts that are up to date. I think we're all probably guilty of having a lot, especially if you've been in business for a good number of years, you probably have blog posts that are 6, 7, 8 years old. And have you taken a look at all of those blog posts to make sure that you're not talking about a fishing charter that's out of business, or a really cool, trendy restaurant that was downtown Breckenridge but is now closed down and called something else. So going through all of your blog posts and making sure that they are up to date with information and optimized. Um, Optimized really means a number of things, that you have your keyword phrases that are included in the blog post, but also that you are interlinking to internal pages on your website. So if it's a blog post talking about pet friendly rentals, you can take that keyword phrase pet friendly rentals and connect it to the custom search results page that has all of your pet friendly rentals listed on it. So, this is a great time for you to be going through those blog sites and finding opportunities to interlink those blog posts to internal pages on your website. A lot of times, Google will index blog posts, and by interlinking to internal pages on your website, helps Google find new pages and helps them rank them higher for those long tail keyword phrases. And so taking the time out of your day to go through all those blog posts is really important. The other thing you should do is check in Google Analytics for your most popular blog posts and make sure that those pages are also linking to your search funnel. So those could be even pages like 4th of July fireworks, where to find 4th of July fireworks in Breckenridge, or in your different areas. Because you're providing useful information, make sure that that's updated for this year's event, and as well as taking folks to finding accommodations for that time period. So make sure you're checking out your Google Analytics and seeing where your opportunities are to utilize those most popular blog posts and push traffic into your funnel. Other than blog posts, we've got landing pages as well. So with your landing pages, it's the same kind of thing. I would look and see what my most popular landing pages are for the last 30 days, because those are, of course, really high trafficked pages right now. And so they could continue to be, rising as we get into it, but also take those out and look at what were your popular pages prior to that. And so those are your pages that you're probably sending the most pay-per-click, ranking organically, referred from other sources. And so those are really pages that people should be funneling through to your website. And if they're not already a custom search results page, then how do you get them into the search funnel from that page? So making sure that they also have interlinking to make sure that it's a sticky page and keeps people on the site and into your search. In addition to that, you want to be able to go in and look at these pages in the blog post to make sure that you have enough content on them. So, if they are light on content, you may want to consider adding some additional pictures, adding additional text. Are your pictures optimized? Do they have alt tags? This is a great time to be going in and adding alt tags into your websites and making sure that they are all optimized along with H1 tags, or do all of your pages have H1 tags? And if you're not familiar with what an H1 tag is, when you go to a specific page, you can right click that page and view source, and then I usually just do a control F for find, and then look for H1, and you can see what's in there. And is it, optimized for what you're looking for that page? So that kind of leads us into, and we've already been kind of talking about search engine optimization. You know, I would be a liar if I said that a lot of our clients have pulled back on services for IC&D, you know, considering SEO, pay-per-click, email marketing. And honestly, it's a wise thing to do to pull back, you know, your expenses right now. But if you have people on staff that can work on some of this stuff, it's a great time to utilize it because, you know, we really need to be pushing forward with Google and your search engine optimization because the algorithms haven't stopped working, and you know it's really a time that you can push the gas and get your site tightened up and look at your site in more detail in order to make the best of the situation and improving your site and your rankings. So this is a dashboard from SEM Rush. So kind of opening up the book here as far as what tools that we use at IC&D that you may want to either sign up for or take advantage of. Some of them are free, some of them will give you like a free trial, and some of them are paid. But looking at and using SEMrush will really tell you a lot about your site and a lot about what you're doing from a search engine standpoint and what you can do to improve that standpoint. So you can use this tool to run an audit on your site, and it's going to go through and it's going to check, you know, do you have any broken links? Do you have any 404 errors? Ahrefs is a good one for looking at your backlink profile, and then you can put competitors in there and see what backlinks your competitors have and how you can go about securing some of those backlinks yourself. So I think this, you know, a lot of backlinking is really a technique of getting other sites to link back to you, and it takes a lot of time and effort, which some people on your staff may have more time than others, and it might be something that you're able to take advantage of, especially because a lot of the companies in the area probably need your support, and so you can leverage this time to support each other. You know, if you give out free vouchers for the ski rental place or the jet ski rental place, would they be able to offer you a backlink to your website? So things like that you can work on. You know, obviously the better ranked websites that you can get backlinks for and from would obviously generate the best results, but you can definitely take a look at what your competitors are doing and then implement that on your site. 404 pages, that means that's a page that you used to have on your site, but for whatever reason, Google can't find it. And so Screaming Frog does a great job of going out there and doing a full scan of your site and bringing back all of those pages that should be indexed by the search engines and taking a look at it. And then broken links are another thing that you might have, broken images, and things like that. And so this is a great time for you to dig into that errors section and clean that up. Make sure that you can, you know, maybe you have a dash instead of a slash, and that's giving you a 404 error, and you can clean that up. User experience. So if I just put you to sleep on that slide, this slide might pick you up a little bit. So I'm more of a user experience person than I am a technical person where I want to go clean up a website. But the user experience is where you can clean up a website by doing things that make the site more easier for the visitors to go through and find what they're looking for. And with the increase in mobile traffic, you definitely need to be looking at it from a mobile perspective. We tend to sit in front of laptops and desktops all day long, so we take for granted having that mobile experience that most of our users are actually using our website. So now is a great time for you to go through and take a look at your website. I gave you a couple of tools here as well. Usertesting.com, it's actually all one word, but I accidentally broke that down, but it's usertesting, all one word.com. This is where you can go through and hire people to walk through your website and perform an action of booking a vacation. So you can go in and set up a story for them to say, hey, I want you to go to this URL and put in that you want to book a 3-bedroom villa in Anna Maria Island that's oceanfront and pet friendly for the 3rd week in July, and go through and find that. And then you can also put in competitors. You can also tell them to go do it now on, do a search on Google, and, maybe they'll end up on VRBO, and go through and test it and compare and contrast those experiences. It is a paid service, so you do have to pay someone to do that. But a lot of us are working from home and have friends, spouses, or maybe roommates, and that you could watch over their shoulder as they go through and do the same experience. So you could, verbally tell them that command, and then have them go and watch and see where they get hung up at. Make sure that, it's rendering right, or even on a mobile experience, you may have things that are above the fold that don't need to be above the fold. Maybe they need to be hidden on a mobile. Maybe you've got a bunch of images that are too large and need to be resized. Maybe some of the buttons aren't quite easily able to use, so you might end up with some usability issues. And so Browser Stack is a good one to use if you're finding issues, because you're able to troubleshoot on different versions of iPhones and Chrome versus Safari. So you can actually pick your type of phone and your browser and the different versions that they have out that would match up, and they have a whole bunch of different servers are out there. But simplifying it, there is a window resizer Chrome extension that you can use to just resize your website in a mobile experience, or just using your own mobile phone works as well. So just make sure that you're checking those calls to actions, pictures, making sure everything's loading fast enough. And then Google's new thing is font sizes. They want font sizes at least 16 pixels. So make sure that your font sizes are nice and optimized throughout the site. If you guys are using something like CSS, you should be able to go in there and apply that to most of your paragraphs, and easily update that. So talking about the booking experience, again, having someone who is not you, it's kind of like editing your own paper, is always the analogy that I use. It's hard for you to go in and proofread your own work. So having somebody else with another set of eyes to walk through it is great. But as you're going through it, the booking experience is really the best thing on your website and most important thing for you to be able to improve. So you want to go through and do a full audit from a user perspective, and have maybe a family member go through and try it, see if they have any obstacles, see if pricing was correct. Go through. This is a great time for you to put in all the different combinations of filters for, is this property oceanfront, pet friendly, with a private pool, and am I getting the same results that I'm getting in my property management software as what I'm getting on my website? And if not, why? Going through all of your different complexes and making sure all of the units are showing up, and if not, why? And taking a look and making sure that all the amenities are checked off for all of your different units. So all of your properties with hot tubs are all showing up in the search engines, and you're not going to come out of this having a whole bunch of owners calling you and complaining that their rentals are down because their property's not showing up. Nobody wants to hear that, for sure. And then from a mobile perspective, making sure that you can scroll through the property images, making sure that they show up correctly, test all your forms, make sure that they're all working and going into all of the different funnels that you have. If you've got a CRM that it's supposed to be going through to, or they're supposed to be automatically funneling into your email database, make sure that's all happening. Are your pop-ups or chat boxes, are they over top your quick search or your search in general on a mobile device? I see that a lot of times. Is it blocking any of your content that's in the footer when you get down to the bottom, that they can't see your phone number or how to contact you? All of those ins and outs are a great thing to do right now when things aren't hustle and bustle with getting emails out and pay-per-click and everything else. Site speed, I know if you have sat in on any of my webinars or presentations before, this is a big one for me. Can you see, is there an issue on your website where you need to compress your images, or if you're hosting a video on the same server, is it loading slow? Can you put that up on YouTube and make things faster? So Google Pagespeed Insights is a good tool. I would just have the fair warning that site speed is a bit challenging, and that it's always changing. They're always adding more recommendations to what you should do and how you should do it. So if you go in there one day and your site is 96%, and then you go and do everything with your landing page optimization and changing out different pictures, and then you go back in it, you're at a 76, don't be in complete shock. That seems to be how things roll, that you always have to continuously come in here and modify things and manage your site speed. But there's things like CDNs where you can host your images. So CDN is Content Delivery Network, and it allows you to put your images on a server that'll feed them up faster and not on the same server as your website stored. And then, this is a great time for you to look and see if you have any plugins or code that's embedded in your website for maybe Hotjar and you're not using it, or a paid subscription to something that was tracking website traffic and you're not using it anymore. A lot of those plugins and code that you've embedded in the site can slow things down. So make sure that you've just got the bare minimums in there. Never take off your Google Analytics or anything, but if there's anything else that you can trim out of there, that would be a good time to do it. Property descriptions. So originally this was focusing on OTAs, so having all of your descriptions fed out there on the OTAs. But of course, I think that it is important that you improve your property descriptions on your own website as well, which they feed from the same source and most of the time. But what's really important is that you update your content and try to find somebody on your staff that has a good brand voice, who can be, a little bit of a salesperson in the way that they write, and without exaggerating things, but has a knack of being able to really put together the life and the voice of your brand and what you're trying to sell out there. And I think that a lot of you are spending a lot of time in these properties right now, taking inventory, making sure everything's taken care of, really being the boots of the on the ground locally for a lot of these owners who can't get down there and keep an eye on these properties. So you probably are able to quickly think about what are the key features of this property that are really going to sell it out there. Things like, where is it located, centrally located, or maybe even remote located at this point might be a good thing. And what are the features? How many does it sleep? How comfortable is it? What is the value you're getting from this home? It has an impeccable game room, or all the luxuries of home with a fully stocked bar with wine glasses and beer glasses right next to a really cool pool table. So, your family getaway, the adults can go downstairs and have a lot of fun while the kids are upstairs playing in the other game room. Paint that picture and be very visual with the way that you even describe the property in the content. And it's also a great time to look at pictures too. These properties are empty, which, when I tell a VRM that, should consider taking some new pictures this year. A lot of times they'll come back and say, well, I can never seem to get into that unit when it's empty. This might be your only chance, so be safe about it. But if you can get some pictures of the unit professionally, or, not on your iPhone, but as professional as you can possibly get, showing the views, showing the amenities, possibly even the walkthroughs with the virtual walkthroughs and virtual tours would be a great way for you to really put together these listings and take the time that's needed to maximize your sizing on your pictures. Sometimes that happens too, where you took the pictures at 7 megabyte size, but now you need to resize them down to 1 megabyte, but something is screwed up. This is the time that you have to do that. And then taking a look at pricing. So, this is obviously not a time to just drop your pricing and, have a fire sale for your rentals, but using the tools that maybe you didn't have time to figure out before, and effectively getting pricing in place for your website, and making sure that you have the tools to examine the comeback as well. So what's your market doing, and how are things looking with your competitors? So pricing, reviews, that's also a good place for you to go out there and see, does your website have a good amount of reviews for each property? And if not, is there a place that you can go and take reviews? So, if you're feeding reviews in from just VRBO, can you push some reviews from Airbnb or Flipkey or Google? Where do those properties have some reviews that you don't have on your website? Or can you use this time to go out to guests and ask them for reviews and get some great solicited reviews from your guests? And then just to say, with those property descriptions and how you're working on your properties, this is again a great time for you to talk about things like housekeeping and, um, what you're doing to keep those guests safe. So, is there a remote lock that they're able to use? They don't have to come pick up keys anywhere. They can use a code box. Are you providing anything for them for housekeeping, like Clorox wipes, free toilet paper? That's pretty essential right now. And things like that, or do you offer grocery delivery so they don't even have to go to the grocery store when they get there? What are the things that are really going to help a guest make that choice and feel safe about coming to visit your specific property? And looking at that property, itself, is this the time to take a look at the property and figure out what are some special target marketing messages that you could be using to sell that property? Is it in a unique location, or car show comes, or it's got a garage? What are some of the key selling points of that property that really sell it, and who is the person and demographic that is going to fill it, and how can you reach them? I think this is the time that we really think about how we market those properties. So into marketing, let's talk about some marketing. Email marketing. Email marketing has always been one of our most profitable. It's not very expensive to send out an email, and for the most part, these are leads and guest history that you've worked before, so it's generally the most profitable. What I'm seeing right now is a lot of emails coming in, and the last thing you want to do is completely bombard people, because I'm sure you're feeling the same way about getting a lot of unsolicited emails right now. Promotional emails about a vacation, I don't think are ever a terrible idea, but I think that you have to make sure that you have your message correct. So what we're recommending is addressing the situation at hand. Obviously, everybody out there knows that COVID-19 is lingering out there, and it's a scary situation. So without being too salesy, we need to use empathy and let them know that, we care about them. They are our family just as much as our friends and our guests. So their health and safety is very important to us, and what you're doing to keep them healthy and safe. And, if you can't do that, if you aren't even able to offer rentals right now because of the different impacts to your location and government regulations, when is the right time? And when the time is right, that you are there for them and that you're thinking about them and wishing them well. And it's mainly just that billboard, just to stay in front of them and make sure that they know that you're thinking about them as much as they're thinking about you. And as we get closer to seeing more light through that tunnel, I think it's a great time for us to be thinking about how we could segment our list into different groups. So you should be taking your emails and segmenting your guests into different boxes that you're able to market to in the future. If you still don't have a lot of time, but you want to be impactful, what you should really focus on is the drive market. So previous to vacation rentals, I worked for a marketing company who did a lot of direct marketing for the hotel groups in Myrtle Beach. And after the financial crisis, we really heavily saturated the drive market. So, Charlotte to Myrtle Beach and Columbia, Georgia, we took those main feeder market drive markets and really saturated them with email and direct mail campaigns, and it was definitely something that helped. The guest history database is your most sacred thing right now, and so definitely try to segment out the drive market of your guest history and think about what that correct message is going to be, so you can start kind of stockpiling those messages that you're going to use for targeting your email. I would definitely recommend not trying to say, not trying to ignore the COVID crisis out there, or trying to say that, you're a safe haven or anything like that. That's a false hope. But be truthful and making sure that you're able to target them in the right way. This is just an example of one that we sent out where, we're acknowledging what's going on with the coronavirus and just offering that we're here to help. Nobody right now wants to say you need to spend $20,000 on a new website or $50,000 on a new marketing plan. It's just not feasible and it's not smart in the current environment. So, what we are saying is we're here to help. If we've done a lot of different webinars and things like that just to help get the conversation out there and keep things flowing. And so that's the main message that we're trying to get out to our audience, is just let them know that we're here for you. And then this is an example of a email that we've done for a client out in the Outer Banks, where a lot of our clients are coastal or mountains where they've had to deal with fires and things like that, and coastal where they've had to deal with hurricanes and red tides and oil spills. So, they've been through some micro elements like this, definitely nothing that's lasted this long, but it's nothing for us to have, a whole campaign in place and for us to have to hold off on it and change our message. So, it just changes. We're here from you. And then as the storm passes, the coast is clear, we're ready for you, and starting to evoke some of the nostalgia of visiting us in the past and the memories that are to come. Social media, this is another area. This is a great billboard effect just to show up in the social media feeds. Facebook has just been blowing up since everybody's stuck at home and has nothing else to do. The social media sites, all of them, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, they're all just blowing up with traffic from people finding things to do as they're home. I wish I was one of those people sometimes, but we're staying pretty busy. But TaylorMade did a great little video. You guys should go check it out, just from all of their team members. So that, social media is a great way to associate your team with your brand and increase that brand loyalty and awareness. Continue to post regularly, let them know that you're thinking about them, and when the time's right, you'll be ready to service them and ready to keep them safe and welcoming them with open arms. Atwood Vacations and Real Estate, they've been very active on their social media with contests. So there's different programs out there that you can pay for to do contests. And so folks can submit their vacation pictures and get entered to win a prize, which helps keep your social engagement up. As well as you can generate some new pictures. So as you're working on those blogs and working on internal page and landing page content, you can have some additional pictures to use because they'd be relinquishing their rights for those pictures and engaging with that brand. So it helps build that loyalty. Guests always love to see their pictures up on your website or in your marketing. And then they also love to, join these different contests and ability to get a prize. And it just helps you to have, again, that billboard effect, keeping your brand out there, sharing with their friends, and helping increase your reach to different demographics that you're looking for. So ask questions when you're posting, how much do you miss coming to the beach, or what's your favorite thing to do in Winter Park? So, just make sure that you're keeping your engagements up on your social media so that your posts are being seen, and they know that your company's doing well. I think that that's important. Your company becomes a big part of their family when they come and stay with you, and a lot of times they want to be introduced to the faces that they talk, or the voices that they talk to, and learn their faces. So it just helps spread that love and spread that awareness of your company. This is another post from one of our clients down in Aruba. This is a little heart made out of the lights in one of their beautiful buildings. And so, as their towers stand empty, this is just a nice message. I also saw, I live in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, so I saw on one of the Facebook pages that one of the local towers put hope, lit up hope in their building windows. So I know a lot of us have homes rather than towers, or not enough of the inventory in the specific building to be able to do this, but things like this just show a good impact. But you can also talk about how you're impacting the local community by taking pictures of masks that your folks are sewing together, or donations to feeding the children that are out of school so they're not able to get the meals to them, and things like that. How are you impacting your community, and sharing that out on Facebook? That definitely touches people's hearts and allows them to have more desire to work with your brand. Pay per click. I guess we should talk about how much you should be spending, or should you be spending it all? Of course, it really depends on your budget. It depends on your cash flow. A lot of people have completely shut down their pay-per-click ad budgets. We do recommend keeping about a third to a quarter of your budget, just to keep something out there on the search engines. And if it's feasible to continue spending a third of your pay-per-click budget and regularly monitor your ad performance and analytics, because there are still people out there searching, and there are some of your competitors that are out there and would be showing up. You should definitely watch what you're spending, and probably not spend any more than a quarter to a third. But the good news is that ad spend will go farther, because there's a lot lower cost per clicks right now, just due to less competition, and increasing your visibility, especially for like remarketing, which is just that free billboard out there. So if they have visited your website, and you've got that monitored and tracked, and can send out that billboard effect of the content image, or the images in the ad content out there, then that definitely can help keep you top of mind when the time comes for them to take their next vacation. And you don't want to be behind the curve when things return back to normal. So you can use this time to go through your campaigns, see if there's any campaigns that you've been running that maybe they're too top of the funnel. So in this case, you've got Destin Vacations Rentals, and that this is a Google Trends report showing how much the search volume has decreased for that search term, Destin Vacation Rentals. And if you look at vacation rentals in general, you'll see pretty much the same thing, where it just kind of came at a halt at the end of March. But as things start to pick back up, we still want to be working as efficiently as possible. So maybe if you have if you're a vacation rental company and you have an ad group for Destin Vacations, that might be a little bit too broad. So you're bringing in too much traffic that's top of the funnel, where they know that they want to go to Destin, and they know they want to go on a vacation, but they don't know specifically that they want to stay in a vacation rental. So maybe they're looking at hotels, and you're showing up and it's not the right keyword phrase. So look and see what your conversions are on your ad groups, and make sure that they are performing. And if not, look and see, is it something that's too top of the funnel, Or is it something that I need to work on my landing page? So, am I funneling this to the right landing page? Complex landing pages, if you have condominiums and they're in a complex, those landing pages should have those results on there to reduce the friction of too many clicks. And things like that, will help you get more conversions from your ad spend and make that budget go a bit farther, especially in this time. What else? Rewrite your ads. Gosh, that's a big one, right? When's the last time you went in and rewrote your ads? Site extensions. Do you have the site extensions in there? It's a good time to do an audit on your SEO and pay-per-click team. I mean, honestly, go in there and see when, how old are your ads? Are they performing? Do you feel like they could be better? I feel like that's something that you should definitely be taking a look at and making sure that you have everything in line. Do you want to make them seasonal? Does that make sense to make more seasonal ads and have them just sitting in there ready to switch as the season changes? Are they targeted enough? Are your different ad groups broken down strong enough? Are you really niche marketing with them? Do you have long tail keyword phrases in there? Do you have negative keyword phrases you need to add? So, you can go into your AdWords and see where your traffic, what keyword phrases actually came through to your website. Are there any in there that just don't make sense? And you need to add some quotations or brackets around those keyword phrases to make sure that you're not getting any phrases that you're never going to convert off of. So this is all a great time to go and take a deeper dive into your AdWords campaigns and find out if they're performing as well as they could. Some search terms can also overlap in different campaigns. So go in there and check your ad campaigns, make sure you don't have duplicate search terms, and then your max cost per clicks and bidding strategies. Maybe you're bidding too low on some keyword phrases, so you're not getting as much traffic, or maybe you're bidding way too high and driving up the cost per click. So, if you are just out there to be on the top of the page and spending $10 per click when you really could max it out at $5 per click and drive down that cost, that may help as well. So, and come up with some plans. How can you do some campaigns as we start to get out of this to, again, target that drive market? I really feel that the drive market is going to be your market for the next, probably next year, maybe even longer, as people don't feel safe to get in an airplane and travel too far. But you know your market best and what the feeder markets are. And so you can look in analytics if you don't feel comfortable with your gut. It's always good to go off of data. I'm sure Key Data Dashboard and the other market data can show you as well. But in analytics, you can go in and see what are the top performing cities down to the city level, and really just work on different campaigns and for pay-per-click and social media ad campaigns as well. Target that drive market. And then remarketing, we kind of talked about this already, that it's really good for your for the billboard effect, just having good ads out there, but maybe they need to be repositioned with a softer sell, letting them know that you're there for them and you're ready when the time comes, and you're ready to build those memories and provide those memories for those families and those friends, and that you're there for them. So you were right to pull your marketing. You were right to lower your efforts, but we need to think about when exactly we need to start turning back on some of these efforts and how we can do that smarter. And I think we talked about that. but be ready for this bell curve. Obviously, we talked about how the number of cases is still increasing. So, even though it's not 100%, it might be 55% more cases from yesterday. We really want to see those number of cases go down. And so, as we get over the hump here of cases, we will start to see more reservations coming in. And so, you need to be thinking about drive market. You need to be thinking about how you're going to market your properties effectively, how you're going to drive those direct bookings, how you're going to utilize the OTAs. Um, it's a good time to start thinking about what kind of promotions you're going to run, especially if July looks like it's going to be a good month. How are you going to fill it up? What's your pricing strategy? And just go ahead and get that content calendar and all those email blasts and social media posts ready, scheduled, ready to pull the trigger, right? So that you're all ready to go. You can worry about the guests and making sure that they feel comfortable and safe while they're in their homes, having a great time and sharing those experiences with other people. So the more people share that they are out vacationing, the more people will come. So I think that that is a really big thing for us to work on. And try to be a step ahead, think about what people are going to be asking, improving that content like we talked about. How are you cleaning the units? That should be on your FAQ. That should be, easily accessible on your website. What are you doing to keep these units safe? Why should they stay with you over a hotel? That should be a question. What extra steps do you take that, a lot of times people will trust a brand over mom and pop. We know internally through listening to the thousands of webinars that have been going on with Dirk and everybody else about housekeeping. I know that you guys do a great job with housekeeping, but do your guests know that? And is that really the brand and the fundamental message that we're able to send out there? So I think we need to start promoting that with some PR campaigns and make it seem a little bit more enticing. But we really have some clean units and some impeccable cleaning strategies, and I think that you need to be talking about that, and maybe there's a video along with the QA to be produced in order to show and really visually get the message across of how squeaky clean these units are. And also the big thing is cancellation policies and travel insurance, and being open and honest. At this point, COVID is out there. People are well aware of it. And if you're taking new reservations, I kind of feel like, they should have a little bit stricter on the cancellation policy. And if your area is open to visitors in June and July and folks don't feel safe traveling to the destination, having this information out there about what you're doing to keep them safe, and that's going to really help make them feel more comfortable. And again, the social impact. Look at these happy families on our beaches. Look at them having a great time making memories. It's not, a spring break craziness destination on the beach. There's still lots of room for you to come have your peaceful getaway. Or if you're a mountain destination, look at how much wide open space is. Like, go hiking, enjoy yourself, go mountain biking, and everything else that there is to enjoy the summer and make the most of it. So be ready to send that message. Be ready to answer those difficult questions, and be ready to focus on some positive things. We're running out of time here. I got 3 more minutes, but I also want to have some time for QA in case there are any QA. But homeowners, this is a good time to go after homeowners. You don't have to be the bad guy in it, but I think you guys have been doing an exceptional job for your current homeowners, those that I've talked to, where they're going in and taking videos and pictures of each property every day, keeping their staff busy and sending it to homeowners, and use those examples of the fine attention to detail, and go after others, and then work your lead databases, come up with some strategic direct mail campaigns, let them know that you're still here and you're still ready to service their property and get them rental income when it means the most. Managing staff, take advantage of your staff, let them help you with content writing, get your reservationists to help you with the UX testing, get your email blasts in order, get your social media in place, check all those ad groups. And this is our marketing Brady Bunch who's ready to help should you guys need some help. Hey, April, you still there?
I am.
Hey,
Hello.
were there any questions?
We don't have any at this time. I think everybody was just learning a lot because there was a lot of information. So I think everybody was just really taking it in, and it really complemented also the presentation that that Amber had just done. So you guys talk about PPC, SEO, and those types of things really kind of married together. So that was great to see that combination come in
Yeah,
to really tell everybody.
I'm sorry I missed that. I'm glad it's recorded. I was going through and put my final touches on my slide deck here. I'm sorry I had to talk at you for an hour. I'm much rather have the being able to integrate other people and voices like we've been doing on our webinars, and hearing from the experts. But hopefully this was a good summary for you guys. Really appreciate you coming out. If you do have questions, feel free to email me or April. April's aburns@icnd.net. Always here to chat. If you want to be on one of our webinars, please reach out to me. It's a pleasure getting to talk with you, and keep your head up. There's light coming through. We will get through this.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. We really appreciate the presentation.
Thanks, April. Talk to you
All right.
soon.